Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again today with one of the backup commanders from one of the pre-con decks. This one is the red-green deck, which was Animated Army, and the backup commander was Wildsear, Scouring Maw. 3 red and green for 6/6 elemental wolf, has trample, and enchantment spells you cast from your hand have Cascade. Right, so we've got a Cascade creature in red and green that really is concerned about enchantments. Okay then, we can do this, I'm sure, and this is how I've done it for today's video. So, enchantments are important to us, which means we need mana and we need all sorts of things. But let's start at the beginning. Generous Visitor makes an appearance. Whenever we cast an enchantment spell, we get a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Nice little turn 1 drop, but nothing too spectacular, but it's a little bit of fun, so I decided to have it in here. Composer of Spring's a little bit better. Enchantments enter the battlefield, we get to put a land from our hand onto the battlefield tapped. If we've got 6 or more enchantments, we can put a land or a creature. That's fine. A little bit risky. We do run out of lands, but we do not always run out of creatures, so it does help. It's a red deck, Dockside's here. Sorry, everybody. Herald of Pantheon cuts down the cost of our enchantment spells by 1, and when we cast them, we gain a life. Cameo Transience also makes an appearance, gets +1/+1 counter on it when we cast an enchantment, and then if an enchantment's put in our graveyard and this is there, we get to return it to our hand. Nessian Wanderer, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 3, put a land card from among them and put them into your hand, and then put the rest on the bottom in your random order. Works really well if you stack the triggers properly. So this goes on the stack and commander, and then this goes on the stack. So this resolves, you find the land, you then get to put it into play. Nice. Sanctum Weaver is an enchantment, so it will cascade. The only thing, one of the things it will cascade into is Generous Visitor, so bear that in mind. And you get to add the mana when it becomes less away from summoning sickness. Archetype of Aggression is also a nice enchantment, gives all our creatures trample, and everyone else loses trample. Course for Crucifix, land, enchantment, you know the score of a Courser. Dryad of Elysian Groove, again, you know the score, additional land, all lands, all colours, of all lands of every type. Clothus, God of Destiny. Yeah. Indestructible, becomes a creature when we hit the devotion of 7, and then pre-combat main phase we get to exile a target card from a graveyard, anyone's graveyard, remember that. If it's a land, red or green, otherwise you gain 2 and it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Like that plan. Oakheart Dryads enters, or another enchantment enters under the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Rex Sage is here just to blow up anything that's annoying us or has been stolen from us. Cetesian Champion gets the constellation, gives us the card draw, +1/+1 counters when enchantments enter. Eidolon of Blossoms means we keep on drawing, but be careful. I have decked myself with Eidolon of Blossoms, so just be warned about that. Forgeborn Orids, this or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to a creature or player. Nylea, God of the Hunt, gives all our creatures trample and is obviously indestructible. Yeah, we had to have Porphyros, sorry. Shoot me. Renata, Called to the Hunt, makes all our creatures come in for an extra +1/+1, and the other version of Porphyros gives all our creatures haste, which is even better. Xenagos, God of Revels, also makes an appearance. Don't forget to cascade each of these things, so I'm assuming Wildsear is in play when we're playing anything above 4, by the way, just so we're clear on this. I'm not going to talk about the cascade all the way through, I'm just hoping everyone knows what it does, but if not, you can read the text up here and it tells you what cascade does. At the beginning of combat in your turn, another target creature you control gets haste and +X/+X, where that's its power. Golden Hide Ox enters the battlefield under your control. Target creature must be blocked this turn if able. Okay. Humbler of Mortals, another one. Going a lot of commons in this one, but it's quite useful. This or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. Everything gains trample again, so can help. Nylea's Colossus enters the battlefield, or another enchantment, double target creature's power and toughness until the end of turn. Really lovely if you've got this in play and Xenagos, because it just makes things silly very quickly and you can alpha strike people quite happily. Nyx Bloom Ancient triples up our mana production, and the archetype of Endurance gives all our creatures hexproof and everything else loses hexproof. Nice. Spells wise, a few ramp spell. Ancient Grudge, just take out any artifacts that are annoying us. Farseek, Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits, and Cultivate gives us some ramp to play around with. A little bit of artifact ramp, not too much. Tantalite, Talisman, haven't played them both for a while, so they're here today. Sol Ring and Arcane Signet gives us our artifact ramp, again not too much. But then we have 27 other enchantments, starting with Exploration, play extra lands each turn. Bard class, legendary creatures you control enter with an additional +1/+1 on them, and then legendary spells you cast cost green and red less to cast, which is great with Wildsear if it gets killed off. And then level 3, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. The second one's probably more important than level 3, so get to level 2 and leave it there 9 times out of 10. Druid class, life gain, additional land drops, and then we can turn a land into a creature. Prismatic Omen gives all our lands every other basic type as well, so we've never really problems with mana. Beastmaster's Ascension, get those creatures attacking. Once we get 7 counters on here, everything gets +5/+5. Court of Garenbrig makes us become the Monarch, then we get to distribute some +1/+1 counters, and then if we're the Monarch we get to double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature we control. Fervor, gives everything haste. Growing Rights, Itlamok goes and finds us some lands, goes and finds us some creatures, then turns into the wonderful Gaze Cradle alternate, I suppose. Rights of Flourishing, extra card draw, extra land drops. Shadow in the Warp, coming in from 40k land. First creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less, and whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, it deals 2 damage to that player. It's a nice little bit of damage here that people forget about, so it's in. Case of the Locked Hothouse is also in. Additional land drops, 7 more lands, we get to solve it, and you may look at the top card of our library at any time, play lands and cast creature and enchantment spells from the top of your library, hence why it's here. It's really great with Wildsear once we get going. Court of the Bounty lets us put things into play for free when we're in the Monarch. Court of Embereth gives us a little night creature token and deals some damage if we're the Monarch, but again, don't forget, we always become the Monarchs, we always can get that extra card draw, which is really, really helpful a lot of the time with this sort of deck. Guardian Project means we get the card draw, because obviously none of our creatures double up on each other. Nature's Will, whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage to target player, tap all lands that player controls and untap all our lands, so it makes our second combat phase even better. Omen Path Journey, I just like this for the random land you get, that's always fun. Path of Discovery gives us Explore to pump up our creatures a little bit bigger. Berserker's Onslaught gives all our attacking creatures double strike, and at 5 mana we're going to cascade into a lot of fun stuff further down the road, along with Court of Ear to do 2 damage each turn. If we're the Monarch still, we get to do 7, which is even better. Giant Inheritance, I love this card, it's so much fun. Whenever it attacks, gets +5/+5. Whenever this creature attacks, creates up to a monster roll token attached to up to 1 target attacking creature, and when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, we get it back in our hand. So unless someone's playing Leyline of the Void or gives it, gets rid of it before it triggers, we're always going to have this enchantment, and it's fantastically good fun, especially since it cascades 5 when we cast it while Wildsear in play. Unnatural Growth is just, yep, stupid. We all know this by now in Commander. I think we've all been on the receiving end of it at some stage. Primeval Bounty, creatures, +1/+1 counters, life gain, depending on what we're doing. Prodigious Growth comes in from M19. Enchanted creature gets +7/+7 and has trample. Not going to complain about that, 6 mana. Sunbird's Invocation, we get to do a kind of semi-cascade, I suppose. So, yeah, double triggers once we get this in play with Wildsear. Fun. Waking the Trolls gives us a nice little army at the end of the day with a bit of luck, because hopefully we'll be ahead on lands. Wallstorm Surge, just whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. And then Colossification. Enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, that creature gets +20/+20. If you can get it on Wildsear and keep Wildsear alive, you've got an Alpha Strike just sitting there waiting to happen, which is so much fun, it's ridiculous. After that, just your usual selection of red and green lands all the way through. Bit heavy on the forest, bit heavy on the mountains, but I decided to go that way. Again, see, I've been very good. No Reliquary Tower, no Temple of the False Gods. Well, I'm trying to cut down on my use of them a bit, so they're not here today. And that's it. That is my take on Wildsear, the Scouring Maw. I think it's fun. Is it a great commander? I'm not sure. I probably haven't built it to quite the level it could be at. But you know me, I like building between 5 and 8. I'm not going all the way up to 9, 10. I think you can take Wildsear up to the top if you want to. But I think having a sort of bit of a fun deck on the side, this is the one you want to be having. But thank you ever so much for watching the video today. If you can, there's 481 of you have subscribed to the channel. This means I'm 19 short of hitting my 500 target for the end of the year. So if you can subscribe, please do down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything you think I've missed out that should be in this deck. I'd really be appreciated if you could let me know. Hopefully the volume on this video has been okay today. I've had a couple of comments recently where my mic seems to have been a bit dodgy on a couple of the videos, so I'm hoping, I think I've fixed it now, so it should be okay. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be playing this on the stream as soon as I can. So there's a link down Twitch down below. Come and do that if you want to see me go live and play these on MTGO. But for now, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow with another deck. Take care. Bye.